Harry Potter is an amazing hero, but he had a lot of help along the way. His friends, his family, and even some of his enemies saved Harry loads of times throughout the series. I went through all 7 books to find every example of this, and I recorded a whopping 101 saves. So what counts as a save on this list? Well, the person has to either save Harry from death, mortal danger that might not be death but is close, save him from Voldemort specifically, or save him from a terrible fate like going to Azkaban or being locked up. Before we start, I want to make it very clear this video is based on the books, not the movies. There is a big difference. That being said though, I will be using clips from the movies just to make the video more visually pleasing for you guys. Now, let's get the video started. We'll start with the saves that took place before the events of the first book. First, we have Snape saving Harry's life by asking Dumbledore to hide the Potter family.
Hide her. Hide them all. I beg you.
Snape of course knew Voldemort was coming after them, and he ensured Dumbledore would protect them. Then we have Albus Dumbledore, who piggybacked onto Snape's save as he followed Snape's advice to hide and protect the Potters. Next, we have Sirius Black, who suggested the Fidelius charm to hide Harry and his parents. This meant no one knew of their location unless told by the Secret Keeper. Unfortunately, Lily and James chose the wrong Secret Keeper, and Wormtail gave them up to Voldemort. Perhaps the biggest save on this list was Lily Potter's, as she refused to step aside for Voldemort. This put a love protection on Harry, meaning the killing curse that Voldemort cast bounced back and hit him instead. Next, we have the combined efforts of Dumbledore, Hagrid, and Sirius to get Harry safely out of the blown-up house. Dumbledore gave the order for Hagrid to go, Hagrid went to retrieve Harry, and Sirius gave Hagrid the flying motorbike to get away before the house was swarmed. After that, we have Dumbledore saving Harry again, which he did by extending Lily's love protection. As long as Harry called Petunia's house his home, he would be safe because she shared the same blood as her sister Lily. And that brings me to my next save, which was Petunia agreeing to this arrangement and taking in the 1-year-old Harry. By doing this, she protected him for the next 16 years. We've now made it to when the series takes place, starting with the first book, The Philosopher's, or for Americans, Sorcerer's Stone. First, Hagrid saved Harry from the Dursleys, who were basically holding him captive and not allowing him to go to Hogwarts. After that, Ron saved Harry from the troll as he took the club out of the beast's hand right before he hit Harry with it. Next, we have Snape stopping Quirrell's jinx that would have knocked Harry off his broom during the Quidditch match. At that same time, we have Hermione, who set Snape's robes on fire, breaking Quirrell's eye contact and focus. A few months later, Firenze the Centaur saved Harry from Voldemort in the Forbidden Forest. After that, we have Hermione saving Harry from the Devil's Snare with a little help from Ron too, as he reminded Hermione that she was a witch and did not need wood to start a fire. Next, we have Ron's expert chess skills and eventual sacrifice, without which they would not have been able to get through this obstacle, and furthermore would not have been able to stop Voldemort from returning, wreaking havoc on not just Harry, but the whole world. Following that, we have Hermione figuring out the next obstacle. They had to decode a riddle and choose which of the 7 potions to drink. Some were poisonous, and some would let you continue on and later escape. Harry would not have been able to figure this out without Hermione and probably would have poisoned himself. Then Lily saved Harry again, as her protection was what helped him defeat Quirrell and Voldemort. Any touch from Harry burned Quirrell's skin, and these burns eventually killed him. This act almost killed Harry too though, which brings us to the next save. Dumbledore ran in just in time, pulling Harry off of Quirrell seconds before Harry would have died. Now we get to the saves that took place in the second book, The Chamber of Secrets. First, we have the twins and Ron rescuing Harry from the Dursleys in the flying car, where the Dursleys had him locked up, malnourished, and basically held him prisoner. Later, we see Hagrid save Harry from Nocturne Alley and all of the creepy people down there.
Come with us. We'll help you find your way back.
No, please.
Harry?
Hagrid.
What do you think you're doing down here?
Next, we do not have Ron pulling Harry back up into the car. That was just in the movie, and as I said, this is based on the books, so that doesn't count. The actual next save was the flying car saving Harry along with Ron from the Acromantula in the Forbidden Forest. After that, we have Hermione realizing what the beast in the chamber was, which saved pretty much everybody in the school, not just Harry. Following that, we have Ron's wand, which saved the 2 boys from getting their memories wiped. We saw how devastating the spell would have been, as Lockhart had to spend the rest of his life in the spell damage ward at St. Mungo's Hospital, never getting his memory back. Next, we have Dumbledore sending help to Harry in the chamber by sending Fawkes and the Sorting Hat.
So this is what Dumbledore sends his great defender.
a songbird, and an old hat.
Fawkes then saved Harry twice, first by blinding the basilisk, and then by healing the basilisk bite that was seconds away from taking Harry's life. After that, Dobby saved Harry from Lucius Malfoy after being freed. Now we get to the saves that took place in the third book, The Prisoner of Azkaban. First, we have Remus Lupin casting a Patronus charm to save Harry from the Dementors on the train. Then we have Dumbledore catching Harry before he hit the ground during the Quidditch match.
Arresto momentum!
After that, we have Lupin saving Harry from all future Dementor attacks by teaching him the Patronus charm. Then we have Sirius saving Harry and the others from Werewolf Lupin. Also, I feel I have to say, Snape did not save them here. That was only in the movie. And again, this video is based on the books, not the film, so that doesn't count. Next, we have Dumbledore suggesting that Harry and Hermione go back in time, which sets Harry up to cast the Patronus charm. Which then brings me to my next point. Harry saves himself from the Dementors, which is probably the most unique save on this list. Now we get to the saves that took place in the fourth book, The Goblet of Fire. First, Hermione saved him at the Quidditch World Cup, as she stopped them from jumping out of the box seats they were in during the Vila performance. Then we have Arthur Weasley saving Harry, Ron, and Hermione from the Ministry workers who thought they had cast the Dark Mark.
Stop! That's my son!
The next save was the combination of Hagrid and Moody, aka Barty Crouch Jr. They warned Harry about the dragons in the first task, as Barty Jr. put it in Hagrid's head to show them to Harry, and Hagrid did just that. Barty Jr. also helped save Harry from the dragon by giving him the idea to summon his broom. And going off of that, Hermione also helped save him from the dragon as she helped him master the summoning charm before the first task. Cedric helped save Harry by giving him the hint about the egg, which unlocked vital information that Harry had to know. Dobby also helped save Harry in the second task by giving him the gillyweed. This was done by Neville in the film, but again, we're going by the books, not the film, so Dobby gave it to him. For the third task, Ron and Hermione helped save Harry by training endlessly with him, learning all sorts of spells, defenses, and anything else they could think of. Lupin teaching Harry about boggarts a year before also saved him in the third task, as he faced that very creature and used what Lupin had taught him. In the graveyard while dueling Voldemort, Lily, James, Cedric, Frank, and Bertha Jorkins all saved Harry by swarming Voldemort, which gave Harry just enough time to get back to the portkey and escape. Dumbledore, Snape, and McGonagall saved Harry from Barty Crouch Jr. just before he was about to kill him. A little later, Fawkes saved Harry by healing his broken leg and bite sustained while in the maze. Snape saved and protected Harry for the next few years, as he returned to Voldemort claiming to be loyal to him while really being loyal to Dumbledore. Now we get to the saves that took place in the fifth book, The Order of the Phoenix. First, we have Dumbledore and Petunia, who stopped Vernon from throwing Harry out of the house, thus keeping Lily's protection on Harry alive. Petunia was reluctant, but after receiving a howler from Dumbledore, she let Harry stay. Next, Dumbledore, Amelia Bones, and Mrs. Fig all saved Harry by ensuring he had a fair trial. Harry was cleared of all charges and got out of possibly going to Azkaban. After that, we have Dumbledore saving Harry from expulsion and possibly being locked up, as he took the heat for the DA when Fudge and Umbridge found out about it.
Most noble of you, Harry, to shield me. But as has been pointed out, the parchment clearly says Dumbledore's army. I instructed Harry to form this organization, and I alone am responsible for its activities.
Later, Hermione saved Harry from Umbridge and the Cruciatus Curse. Not long after that, Grawp saved Harry and Hermione from the Centaurs in the Forbidden Forest, which also saved them from Umbridge as well. Ron, Hermione, Ginny, Luna, and Neville all saved Harry by insisting they go with him to the Ministry of Magic. Snape saved Harry by deciphering his code.
He's got Padfoot. He's got Padfoot at the place where it's hidden.
After this, he alerted the other Order members, which in turn saved all of the kids. During the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, Neville saved Harry from being choked by Walden McNair. He could not cast a spell due to his broken nose, so instead he jammed a wand into McNair's eye. The Order of the Phoenix saved Harry and the other kids when they showed up to face the Death Eaters.
Get away from my godson.
After Sirius's death where he fell through the veil, Lupin saved Harry's life by grabbing him before he too went through the veil trying to get his godfather back. Next, Dumbledore saved Harry when he animated the statues in the Ministry, who then jumped in front of Harry to block Voldemort's killing curse. During Harry and Dumbledore's very important conversation, Harry expressed suicidal thoughts, saying he wanted to end it all, but Dumbledore saved him by talking him out of this. Now we get to the saves that took place in the 6th book, The Half-Blood Prince. Then we have Dumbledore saving Harry through their private lessons over the course of that year. He taught Harry about Voldemort's past, introduced Voldemort's Horcruxes, and gave Harry a fighting chance. Later, Ron inadvertently saved Harry by drinking the poison mead before he did. Luckily, Harry returned this by saving Ron's life with a Bezoar seconds later. Going off of that, we have Horace Slughorn saving Harry by giving him his memory, thus giving Harry key information on how to finish Voldemort off. The next one we don't find out about until the Deathly Hallows, but it takes place during the events of the Half-Blood Prince. And that is Dumbledore saving Harry by giving Snape information, which in turn lets Harry know he has to die to win. After that, Dumbledore saved Harry by using fire on the Inferi. When they got back to Hogwarts, Dumbledore saved Harry again, this time from the Death Eaters. He made Harry go under his invisibility cloak and magically pinned him to the wall so Harry could not interfere, which in turn ensured his safety. Dumbledore again saved Harry by staging his own murder, making Voldemort fully trust Snape.
You must be the one to kill me, Severus. Only then will the Dark Lord trust you completely.
Moments later, Snape saved Harry from the other Death Eaters by calling them off.
No! He belongs to the Dark Lord.
And now we get to the saves that took place in the 7th and final book, The Deathly Hallows. First, we have the Order of the Phoenix saving Harry during the Battle of Seven Potters, each member putting their life on the line to ensure Harry's safety. I feel I have to mention that while Hedwig did save Harry in the movie, this did not happen in the book. She actually just got hit by the killing curse while in her cage at Harry's feet, so that one doesn't count. Though I have to say, I far prefer her death in the movies rather than the books. It was just so much more meaningful. After that, Harry's wand saved him, as it acted of its own accord when it sensed Voldemort, which ultimately saved Harry's life. Kingsley saved Harry with his Patronus at the wedding, giving Harry, Ron, and Hermione enough warning to escape. And going off of that, Hermione saved herself, Harry, and Ron by disapparating them out of the wedding. Moments later, Ron and Hermione saved Harry by helping him take down the Death Eaters in the diner. Ron and Hermione also saved Harry by going with them to hunt Voldemort's Horcruxes. Kreacher saved Harry by telling him his story, which was of course dubbed Kreacher's Tale. This allowed Harry to find another one of Voldemort's Horcruxes, bringing him one step closer to killing him. Hermione saved the trio when escaping the Ministry, because when realizing Yaxley had hold of her when going to Grimmauld Place, she disapparated them to the forest instead, leaving Yaxley behind and ensuring their safety. Hermione's idea to put protective enchantments around their camp also saved the trio from countless dangers and avoided detection. And going for 3 in a row, Hermione also saved Harry from Nagini and Godric's Hollow. Later, Snape saved Harry by giving him the Sword of Gryffindor, which in turn allowed them to destroy the Horcruxes. While fetching the sword, Ron saved Harry from the cold lake where he probably would have died had Ron not been there. Ron also helped save Harry by destroying the Locket Horcrux, again making him one step closer to killing Voldemort. Later, Hermione saved Harry and Ron from the Lovegood's house, while also brilliantly ensuring Luna's safety, as she allowed the Death Eaters to glimpse Harry for a second, making sure the Death Eaters knew Xenophilius, Luna's father, wasn't lying about having Harry there. Not long after that, Hermione saved Harry again by modifying his face, which made the Death Eaters unsure if it was Harry or not. Because of this, they didn't call Voldemort right away, which opened up more time for them to escape. Draco saved Harry by refusing to identify him in Malfoy Manor.
I can't be sure. Why didn't you tell her? Bellatrix, you knew it was me. You didn't say anything.
Wormtail, or more accurately, Wormtail's synthetic hand saved Harry, as it forced him to stop strangling Harry, instead strangling himself to death. Aberforth Dumbledore saved Harry by sending Dobby to Malfoy Manor when they were in trouble.
Help us.
And going off of that, Dobby saved Harry and the others from Malfoy Manor, which tragically led to his own death. Bill and Fleur saved Harry by letting the trio lay low and heal while at Shell Cottage. Griphook saved Harry by helping him break into Gringotts, without which they could not have gotten the Hufflepuff Cup Horcrux. Aberforth saved Harry, Ron, and Hermione again, this time from the Dementors and Death Eaters when they were detected in Hogsmeade.
Bloody fools. What were you thinking coming here?
Aberforth and Neville saved Harry by giving him access to the hidden passage leading him right into Hogwarts. If he hadn't been able to enter the school, he would not have won the battle. And now we get to the Battle of Hogwarts, which led to so many people saving Harry. I'm gonna end up clumping a bunch of them together because it just makes it easier. First, we have everyone who refused to hand Harry over after Voldemort's warning. Then we have everyone who fought by Harry's side against Voldemort and his army. Helena Ravenclaw also saved Harry by helping him find the Diadem Horcrux. She helped him more in the movie than in the book, but nonetheless, she still gave him the push he needed. After that, Hermione saved Harry by destroying the Hufflepuff Cup Horcrux, again making him one step closer to killing Voldemort. Hermione and Ron saved Harry from Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle in the Room of Requirement. During that sequence, Draco also saved Harry by begging Crabbe not to kill the trio. Crabbe's split-second hesitation was all Harry needed to disarm him. Crabbe catching the Room of Requirement on fire also saved Harry, as it destroyed the Diadem Horcrux. When 100 Dementors swooped down on Harry, Ron, and Hermione, Luna, Seamus, and Ernie Macmillan all stepped up to save them, especially Harry, who was ready to give up. Between the three of them casting their Patronuses, and Luna encouraging Harry to keep going on and cast his own, they saved the trio from getting the Dementor's kiss. In the film, this was Aberforth who did this, but again, this is based on the books, not the films. Snape saved Harry right before he died by giving him his memories, which granted Harry the information he needed to finish the job. Voldemort taking Harry's blood in the Goblet of Fire also saved Harry's life, as it allowed Lily's love protection to live on, thus allowing Harry to stay alive even when hit by the killing curse. Narcissa Malfoy saved Harry by saying he was dead when he really wasn't.
Dead.
Neville saved Harry by killing Nagini, who was the final Horcrux. And finally, the Elder Wand saved Harry, as it was loyal to him, not Voldemort, and because of this, it refused to kill its true master. And there you have it. Every single time someone saved Harry over the course of the 7 books. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Instagram to see more of my personal life, like my cute dog Loki, and some behind the scenes movie flame stuff. I also do similar content on TikTok and Twitter that I do here on this channel, so if you like what I do here, check them out. All the handles are right below me, and links are in the description. Over here are my wonderful patrons. If you want to be featured on the next video, plus get a few other perks, become a patron today. As always, if you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe, and look out for more great Movie Flame videos on the way.